You know what it takes to be #1. At State Farm, so do we.
She's a strong person. I've seen other players that haven't come back from a bad hole or a bad round and maybe have their head down. You never see her head down. You always see her back strong, her walking strong. She's got a little ponytail and it's always bouncing.
I was born and raised in Charlottesville, lived here my whole life, and I've bled orange and blue since a very early age. I remember my first football game, I think I was 3 years old. Seeing all the fans got my heart racing, and I knew from then I'd be a UVA fan for life. I got started playing golf when I was 12 years old. I was at my grandmother's house with my younger cousin, and we were just kind of like going through her attic. We found this old set of golf clubs, and we were like, oh, this could be fun, like let's just go try it out. So we went to McIntire golf course, and you can pay $2, you can play all day, and the greens are made out of sand, and there's no fairways, and it's all rough, and we had a blast. My mom and dad were huge support. They got me like my own set of clubs. I think I was 13 when they got my first set of clubs, and just kind of took off from there.
I had seen Whitney Neuhauser play at regionals while I was the coach at East Carolina, and knowing that I was going to Virginia at the time. So that was my first experience with Whitney Neuhauser. I actually watched her on the range, watched the players that I was going to be coaching just to get a feel for who they were and what type of swings they had, what type of player, what type of attitude. And I knew right off the bat that Whitney Neuhauser was a fighter, a hard worker. You could tell it in her face.
A big part of it comes from my parents. Everyone in my family grew up playing sports, and I just remember, playing with my sister in the backyard and be like, oh, next score wins, and I always wanted to be the one with the ball at the end.
Every person on the team has an individual personality, individual place on that team. Whitney's is the motivator, the go-getter. The team expects that from her. So if I need some motivation, I pull her aside and I say, listen, we need some motivation. This person's not confident. This person's, got their head down. I need you to use what you have and go get them pumped up.
I feel like, especially when I'm playing out there with the team, there's a certain energy that you need in order for the team to play well. And I don't mind being, sparked to get the team going. And, I don't know if Coach told you, but we have this thing that we do on the golf course where we like throw a V like this. And, when you see that down the course, yeah, may have just made like a bogey on the last hole or something. Or maybe I'm not playing very well, but when somebody sees that, it reminds me that, there's still something to play for. Even if I'm not playing well, you never know. Every stroke matters. I finally qualified for the USAM after missing it by a stroke for 3 years in a row. And, I went out there with no expectations and just hoped, I wanted to take it as far as I could. And I finally felt like that was the breakthrough that I needed.
Her strength is that she has no weaknesses. Is she the best ball striker I've ever seen? Probably not. Is she the best putter I've ever seen? Probably not. Best chipper? Probably not. But she is strong at everything that she does. She doesn't have a weakness. If you look at her stats at the end of all of her rounds, she gets better and she gets better. She builds confidence. From the moment she starts to the moment she's done, she's built confidence. So the last few holes, she finishes with birdies. She finishes strong.
5 years from now, I definitely want to be playing on the LPGA Tour. That's been my goal all along since I started playing. I told Candy from day one I wanted to be the best player in the world, and there's no reason I can't do that. I remember my sister used to have this sign in her room that says, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. So I may not have as much talent as Annika or Lorena, but I can work twice as hard as them and get to where they are.